Dominic Lacroix never wanted for anything. His father, Charles, was a titan of finance. Their world was one of luxury. Mansions, vacations, private schools. It was all he knew. Dominic idolized Charles. He saw him as a hero, a man who could conquer any challenge. Charles instilled in Dominic the importance of ambition, of reaching for the stars. Dominic never doubted their charmed life would last forever. Weekends were spent on their yacht. Summers meant trips to the French Riviera. Dominic's friends envied his life, but Dominic took it for granted. It was all he'd ever known. He loved his father dearly. He admired his drive, his unwavering confidence. Charles was Dominic's role model, the architect of their perfect life. Dominic never imagined a world where their fortune could crumble. 2008 hit like a tidal wave. The financial world imploded. Charles's empire, built on calculated risks and bold investments, crumbled. The news was a constant barrage of doom. Dominic watched, confused, as his father, once invincible, aged before his eyes. Stress etched lines on Charles's face. The man who never lost his cool was now a tightly wound spring, ready to snap. Gone were the lavish parties, the carefree laughter. The house, once alive with music and conversation, became a tomb of hushed whispers and tense silences. Dominic, used to his father's unwavering strength, felt a knot of anxiety grow in his stomach. He didn't understand the complexities of finance, but he understood loss. He saw it in his father's eyes, the weight of the world on his shoulders. The crisis took more than just their money. Charles, once full of life, began to fade. Doctors diagnosed him with a heart condition. Stress, they said. Dominic watched his hero become a patient, tethered to machines and medication. The roles reversed. Dominic, now 16, became the strong one. He helped his mother care for Charles, his heart aching with each labored breath his father took. The house felt suffocating. Dominic wandered the halls, his footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. He missed his father's booming laugh, his sharp wit. He'd trade every ounce of their former wealth for one more conversation, one more chess game, one more moment of his father's time. But time, like their fortune, had slipped through their fingers. The mansion was sold, the yacht, the cars, all gone. They moved to a modest house. Dominic switched from his elite private school to a public one. His life had been flipped, turned upside down. The kids at school whispered about his family's downfall. Some, former friends, avoided his gaze. Dominic retreated inward, a shell of the carefree boy he once was. His mother, once a socialite, found work at a local bookstore. She was strong, resilient. She bore their change of fortune with grace and determination. Dominic admired her strength. He knew he had to be strong too, for her, for his father. But the weight of their situation, the loss of their former life, pressed down on him. Section 5, Letting Go. Anger simmered inside Dominic. Anger at the world, at fate, at his father for taking risks that brought their world crashing down. He lashed out, pushing away his friends, his mother, even his frail father. He couldn't reconcile the man in the hospital bed with the titan of industry he once idolized. One night, after a particularly heated argument with his mother, Dominic stormed out of the house. He walked for hours, the anger a burning ember in his chest. He found himself at the park, the same park where he used to play carefree games of tag with his friends. Sitting on the swings, under the cold, indifferent stars, he finally allowed himself to cry. Section 6, Finding Purpose. His tears, once they came, were a torrent of grief, anger, and fear. He cried for his father, for the life they lost, for the future he'd envisioned that was no more. And as he cried, a strange sense of calm washed over him. The anger didn't disappear, but it dulled, replaced by a quiet ache. He knew then that he couldn't change the past. He couldn't bring back their wealth or his father's health. He had to focus on what he could control. He had to be strong for his mother, for his father. He had to find his own path, his own purpose. He remembered something his father had once told him. When the world knocks you down, you get back up. You dust yourself off and you fight harder. Those words, once just a motivational quote, now held a profound weight. Section 7, The Weight of the World. Life wasn't easy. Dominic worked part-time after school, contributing to the household income. He helped his mother care for his father, his heart breaking a little more with each passing day. He learned to navigate the world without the safety net of wealth. He learned the value of a dollar earned, the importance of hard work, the bitterness of sacrifice. He learned that kindness wasn't reserved for the privileged. He saw it in the smiles of his classmates, who welcomed him into their circle despite his family's misfortune. He saw it in the generosity of his neighbors, who brought over casseroles and offered words of comfort. He saw it in his mother's unwavering love, a love that endured even through the darkest of times. Section 8. A father's love, a son's strength. Charles Lacroix, the titan of finance, the man who once seemed invincible, was now frail and fading. But even as his body weakened, his mind remained sharp. He saw the toll his illness took on his son. One day, as Dominic sat by his bedside, Charles reached out a trembling hand. "Dominic," he rasped, his voice weak but firm, "I'm proud of you." Tears welled in Dominic's eyes. "For what?" he choked out, his voice thick with emotion. "For being a good man," Charles whispered, his hand tightening around Dominic's. "For taking care of your mother. For facing adversity with courage. You are everything I ever hoped you would be." Those words, spoken with a father's love and a dying man's honesty, were a balm to Dominic's soul. Section 9. The Simple Things. Charles passed away peacefully in his sleep a few weeks later. Dominic grieved, deeply and profoundly. He grieved for the father he lost, for the life they'd never have, but he also felt a sense of peace. He knew Charles was no longer suffering. He knew he'd made his father proud, and he knew that life, though unpredictable and often cruel, went on. He found solace in the simple things, a shared meal with his mother filled with laughter and memories, the quiet satisfaction of a hard day's work, the companionship of friends who had stood by him through thick and thin. He discovered a love for literature at his mother's bookstore, losing himself in the pages of novels that transported him to different worlds. Section 10. A new definition of wealth. Dominic graduated high school with honors. He received a scholarship to a state university, a testament to his hard work and dedication. He was no longer the entitled boy who took his privilege for granted. He was a young man, forged in the fires of adversity, tempered by loss, and strengthened by love. He learned that true wealth wasn't measured in dollars and cents, but in the strength of his family's bond, the loyalty of his friends, the love that surrounded him. He learned that resilience wasn't the absence of hardship, but the ability to rise above it, to find meaning and purpose in the face of adversity. Section 11. The Legacy of Resilience. Dominic Lacroix's story is not one of riches to rags, but of riches to resilience. It's a story of loss, of hardship, of the enduring power of love and family. It's a reminder that life is unpredictable, that fortune can be fleeting, but that true strength lies within. It's a testament to the human spirit's ability to adapt, to overcome, to find hope and meaning even in the darkest of times. And it serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes letting go of what we have can lead us to what truly matters.